Hello, everyone. Okay, so lots of things have been on my mind lately, and one of the things is something we don't. I've never heard anyone talk outside of, or of this outside of the particular wonderful metaphysical shop. I just the wonderful metaphysical shop that I worked at. And one day we started talking, well, because I get to work a lot unintentionally with people who have been possessed. A lot of possessions. People would come into the shop and they'd be like, okay, all these spirits are attacking me. Like, what do I do? Like, I keep having to, like, hit them off. And it's like, think of mosquitoes. Yeah. People have a visceral reaction to these attached entities and sources, and they're literally like, yeah, get it off. It's just like, it's too much sometimes. So then I come along and I do some mantra work, and I work on the astrals with my angels and ask them if they are willing to accept healing to allow these entities to leave. And if they do, usually they leave. If they don't, then, well, that's, you want these entities, so that's up to you to figure out on your own. But, one of the things that everywhere that I go, I encounter this, but no one talks about it because I swear it's not in the collective consciousness the way I'm gonna present it, I guess. But we've all heard of STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. Well, have you ever heard of an STE, a sexually transmitted entity? So that's when, like, spirits, through the act of having sex, sharing that sacred union, sharing that sacred energy, being in each other's, not just energy fields, but being in each other's bodies. Well, if you're having promiscuous sex with anyone that walks in that sounds like they, or like gives you any inclination that they have an attraction to you, you probably have an STE. And that personality type is partially because of an STE. So entities that are attached to you through your sexual field, well, through your field, but playing out in this very low vibrational, sacral, sexual field that isn't coming from up here. It never gets to pass the heart, because if you look at the energy of these of sex and sex in the media, sex in TV, it's always just like the gangbangers who have sex with every one of the cool guys, and those who value their sexuality and or their body as a temple, and only let who they feel comfortable actually knowing into themselves. They're seen as weak and horrible, not horrible, but as weak. As like, oh, you don't know how to have fun. Oh, you're not experiencing life. Blah, 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 blah. But really, those people that are connecting, you can have a long-term relationship and never really connect to the heart. That is a possibility. But if you are connecting through the heart to a long-term relationship, through taking that time, getting to know each other, and having this sexual bond and union, people that don't have that have no idea, because there is this super special spiritual energy that comes over of both of you, and you can start doing more work with magic and astrals and light bodies, and just it really fuels your entire being. But if you're not able to get to that level and you keep sabotaging yourself and staying at a lower level, and also when you have an STE, it's really hard to get to the higher levels, because literally every time you have the act of sex, it creates a situation in which it is gathering the energy, the sexual energy that's being produced for the dark side, for the ones we hate, for the child molesters, for all the fucked up shit going there. So, if you want to give your personal energy to the highest level possible, then respect yourself, respect others, respect your boundaries, and, be honest and truthful. And, you know what? Probably don't try to sleep with someone unless you have created a checklist of, what loops someone had to jump through to, get inside your body. Because you're not just sharing some funny little fun experience that you had possibly on drugs, alcohol, any of those things that lower your inhibitions, lower your, your mental capacity to make positive decisions for yourself, because those are all spirits. Those are all entities that take over you, and then they use you as a vessel to play their game. And their game sucks. You can play your own game, you can create a game, you can, take the power back. You don't have to play the angel game, because there's not a demon game. There's just different variations of ways to do things, and some are of a higher vibration, some are lower. There's no angels and demons. There's no real good, bad. There's just respecting yourselves and then not, basically. And also, those STEs are very much what's portrayed through the media, through a lot of our movies and television and music videos and all that kind of stuff. Those are all the lower vibrational energies at play to make you want to participate in those actions, to give them dark energy. Well, give them your own strongest energy and convert it into the darkness. And that's why we've been shut down. That's why it's really neat that we're having this big, evolution of boundaries, basically. An evolution of boundaries. Dope. But, this is a lot of where the rape culture comes from. It's because they get downloaded, or they get taken over by these entities that use your body for their own gain. And a lot of that body use is through just deciding that you are going to inflict this energy upon just anybody you see. And that's completely inappropriate, and it's completely dangerous. So really, the biggest way to fight this rape culture, biggest way to fight any of these negative sexual influences and predators, is to learn respect for yourself and teach that respect to those around them. Because if we create these boundaries and respect and community around being able to talk about these things, it also opens the door for a higher evolution of higher. Once more people start giving their physical raw energy to the positive source, it changes things so much more, instead of them always still funneling as much negative energy that's being sucked out of people as possible. So we gotta switch. It's a paradigm. We just gotta switch the paradigm. Paradigm really just means the shape of your thoughts. So if you change the shape of your thoughts and why you do things, kind of like maybe illuminate why you're doing them into a way so that your actions have more meaning than they had before, and that is part of the paradigm shift. So yeah, I don't know, man. We need to start talking about things like this more often. And then if we understand these spiritual aspects of energy conversion, we can actually understand human connection and, heal ourselves from within all the way extending out. Because it's time. Yeah. Anyways, don't forget about respect and boundaries. Cheers.